Well, hello there, fellow nerds.
Hello.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Kaylee.
And welcome to the first episode of Roswell Recap!
Woo!
Excited.
Oh my god. So much to say, so much to just feel.
Guys, seriously, after we watched that episode, we could not stop. It was like throw up of like everything that we wanted to talk about.
It's been like, what, 2 hours, and we've been like trying not to talk about it.
Which is so hard, because like literally the first like 30 minutes we couldn't stop. We're like, no.
Save it for the episode!
Wait, just wait.
Save it for the hashtag CW Roswell Recap.
I hope you guys were on there. We were totally live tweeting. It was super fun. Yes. What a great opener for not only our episode, but for this new introduction to a new revamp of Roswell.
Yeah. Full spoilers for what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Full spoilers.
Yeah. Sorry, like if you haven't watched the pilot episode of this new series and you're watching this now, like you're going to be spoiled.
Yeah, I would stop and watch it and then come back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if you haven't seen the original Roswell from the 90s, you should be safe. We're going to try our best to only talk about things that happen in both, or like really obvious things that aren't like plot points.
Yeah. And they're doing a lot of different things with this new series. Yeah. So I think it will be fine.
Even if we say something, it could be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. They could totally take a whole different avenue. So,
who knows?
But yeah, we'll try to stay spoiler free for you guys. So yeah, I'm so excited to dive in.
Yes.
Let's talk about the plot.
Okay. So we are back in Roswell. It is 10 years since Liz has been there, 10 years since she graduated from high school, and she left to go to Denver. That's different.
So Liz has come back for her 10-year reunion, and on her way, she runs into Max Evans, a former friend or lover. We're not really sure. There's a lot of tension there, though, and he happens to be a cop. And so they have a little flirtation kind of a thing. And she moves on. She goes to the Crashdown Cafe where her dad works. He owns this restaurant. It's a super fun, quirky sci-fi restaurant. And she's there just visiting and hanging out. And then he asks her to actually work at the cafe for him to kind of help out.
We find out that she also had a sister who is now dead. Sad. Also, so she's working, she's dancing, she's kind of having a good time, and there's Max again creeping on her in the corner. He comes out, they have a little flirtation, more flirtation, and then what do you know? Gunshot, Liz has been shot. Max puts his hand on her, throws some ketchup on her, and says, bye!
Max ends up leaving the cafe to run after the assailant, and then he totally falls over because he's weakened from healing Liz, and he uses his telepath abilities to communicate with what appears to be a blonde in negligee. Wait, it's his sister Isabel. And so Isabel leaps from the bedroom, and she runs to her brother and aid him and give him nail polish remover, which is really interesting, to help heal and revive him. And so there's a conversation between Isabel, who's sister, and then his friend, Michael, and they're all talking because they're like, hey, you cannot do that. You cannot just heal random people. And he's like, I didn't. I know Liz. I actually kind of love her, even though I'm not really saying I love her, but I totally do. And they're like, no, you can't do that because if this gets out, like, we're going to have the government on us and we're all going to be dead.
Then we see Michael, and he's like in his trailer, or he's going to his trailer, I don't know, and Alex is there, and they have this whole little conversation that you think is just kind of whatever, but then you find out it actually means something later, which we'll get to.
So Liz runs into her old boyfriend, Kyle, who happens to be a doctor or a surgeon, and while they're having this like really heated make-out session in Kyle's car, which he's all about, he knows that this is like a kind of a booty call thing, but he's so into it. And then he happens to see something glowing on her chest, and she freaks out. She's like, I don't know. No, I'm fine. This is a bad idea. Whatever. She runs out of the car, and she looks in a mirror, and she finds out that her little gunshot wound now has a handprint, and it is glowing. And you're like, what the heck is this? What is going on? This was not something that I'm making up. This was not a fake shooting. Like, something definitely happened here.
She goes to Max and kind of confronts him, and she ends up getting some of his DNA from a straw. So she's like analyzing the DNA and she sees this is not human DNA. Bad news bears. What's happening? What happened to me? I'm going crazy. And she's trying to convince Max to tell her what is actually happening to her. So he basically tells his sister, I'm telling her, I don't care what you say, she's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine, but I have to tell her, I owe it to her, blah, 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 blah. So he takes her to the secret place, they look at the pods, there's 3 alien pods, and she's like, what the heck? And he tries to explain it to her, she kind of gets it, but it's a whole crazy thing, he doesn't have all the answers, and she keeps talking and talking and talking because she's a scientist.
As they're leaving the pod chamber, Liz asks Max, like, why me? Like, why would you save me when he clearly said that he wouldn't heal just any person? He hasn't healed anybody, actually. And he's a cop. And he says, well, basically, like, I've always cared about you, kind of a thing, and I can show you these memories that I have of you, and you can totally get the feeling and like know basically how much I love you. And so he does this really sexy hand thing where he puts his hand on her chest, and it's all great and everything, and she's like, oh my god, like he's in love with me and I'm totally in love with him.
So we go to Alex's dad, he's somehow in the army, I don't know what rank, and he is all up in this government conspiracy about aliens. So Kyle ends up going to him and saying, oh, I saw this handprint on this lady when I was making out with her. And he's like, whoa, 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 let's go somewhere else to talk about this. This is not sanctioned to be talked about in a hospital. So they go into this like bunker, and there's all these different like pictures and all these different things everywhere that are like aliens, and it feels like you're watching InfoWars.
Liz is definitely getting the cold shoulder from her hometown because apparently something happened with her sister back in the day. Her sister ended up passing away, but it was all due to an accident, and 2 other girls apparently got injured. We don't know the details about it yet, but the whole town is really butthurt about it, and they like lash out at Liz for no freaking reason. So Liz, she goes to this bar because she just had visited her sister's grave, just kind of as a like, you know, I love you, I'm sorry I haven't been here in like 10 years kind of a thing. And she runs into her old friend Maria, who's a high school friend, which we love, and so there's a nice little rekindle of that friendship.
So then we finally make it to this reunion. We hear some crazy conversations with Isabel and Michael talking about, you know, something about Liz's memories and like messing with her brain. Bad news bears there. And then like Liz is there, but like people are still like gossiping about her, so she's all uncomfortable and she wants to leave, but Maria's being all great, and so they're, you know, dancing together, and it's really cute. Then we have Alex and Michael have this like confrontation, and it's like real close and it's real intimate, and I got some vibes from it, but we weren't sure. Then later they like meet up in the dark, and they don't even like say anything to each other, and they just like make out. I was so like tunnel vision by this makeout that I don't even remember what happened the rest of the episode. I was just glitter everywhere.
Well, now that we have delved into the plot of episode 1, pilot, which was a lot.
A lot. It was not a like, oh, Liz got shot and brought back to life.
No.
That was not, that was there,
yeah.
But that was a blip.
That literally was like this little baby compared to like...
And like things that they got through in that one episode took like entire seasons, it felt like.
Yeah.
In the original. Like it was barreling down the road, like...
Yeah.
It was full speed ahead.
Yeah, which I'm not complaining, but also I feel like that was just a lot in one episode, so like to try to like soak all of that in. Like I'm gonna have to rewatch it, which maybe is the point.
Maybe.
You know? Maybe it's like we're throwing all this at you to see if you're interested, but also it makes you want to watch it again. That way you can like kind of catch the little things here and there.
Yeah, so. I mean, we're already, even in the car, just our brief like, let's talk for 1 second, and then it's like, no, that's not. I feel like I was even saying, oh, I gotta rewatch that Alex and Michael scene, the very first one, because I was already realizing like, oh, there were little things in there alluding to something. Mm-hmm, and that I just saw as them being whatever, you know, he's like, oh yeah, casual sex. Like, I didn't think of it at all as a, you're some sort of ex.
Yeah.
Like, that was not where my brain was at all. So then it was that second conversation, and we're looking at each other like...
We totally had that. We looked, and we were like, oh, wait.
Like, is this? Oh.
And like as like Michael passed, Alex was like very
Oh,
close, and I was like,
and they were like,
yeah. And I was like, that's a little close for, just
friends,
yeah.
even enemies.
Yeah.
But aren't the best lovers enemies though?
True.
Jesus Christ.
Hot.
Can we say that?
Yeah.
Can I say Jesus Christ?
Yes. Okay. Jesus Christ on a cracker.
Because, yes, on a freaking cracker. Like,
talk about, like, what a gag. Because, like, not to give away too much, but, like, in the original, it was Michael and Maria, and they had this, like, really awesome, fun relationship. Very up and down and all whatever. Passionate, just great. So, of course, we're, like, expecting that.
Yeah, 100%.
So this was, like, a total curveball. Which
Episode 1.
And I'm so excited about it. Yeah. So here's my thing. Here's my overall take. I really love this episode, the way that they introduced the show, because there's so many familiarities, which I loved, and there's even like dialogue that they pulled from the original, like in the very beginning with the podcast guy.
Yeah.
And she talks about like, oh my gosh, well in my family, like they were abducted and impregnated, and that was totally a callback to the pilot episode of the original. And so there are things like that, little nuggets that they left for true fans of the show that I really love that. But I really actually also love they're kind of making it their own.
Totally.
They're older, and so I love that, that's a little bit different. So characters, especially Liz, is like way more confident.
Yes. It is that maturity.
Yeah.
Because you definitely see those little pieces of... She's still curious.
Yeah.
She still is driven. She still has all those qualities.
Still scientific mindset.
Yes, but she's just more solid. Mm-hmm. Like, she's not trying to figure out what's all these feelings inside of her. Yes, she has feelings. And yes, she is all about Max. I totally get that. Mm-hmm. But she also has this... I just feel like she understands herself.
Yes.
Much better than she did in the original.
Well, and she's clearly been taking care of herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just like right out of the gate, like just super confident, super I do what I want, I know what I want kind of a thing. And it's queen.
Absolutely.
Queen.
Complete queen. Yeah. Crown it. Love it.
What a strong leading character.
Yeah. And not that Liz wasn't.
No, for sure.
She was.
Right.
But it's just different. Yeah. It's just a different, more confident, more mature, more sure.
Which really, that is technically what Liz would have been 10 years older.
Totally. I think this definitely feels like alternate universe.
Yes.
Roswell in 10 years. Because obviously there's a lot of changes when it comes to the structure of... the families, the different things that had happened in the past around high school time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of differences. It's taking what is the same and saying, okay, this is the same, but then realizing what is different and not expecting those things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because it's like going in, like expecting Michael and Maria.
Yes.
Not to say that Michael could be bi, but by the conversation they had, it definitely seemed like they were gay, which is fine. But we have to now think, okay, we're not going to expect that anymore, and that's fine. This is a different show. Yes. Which I'm glad, because I was a little worried it was going to be kind of just a rehash. Yeah. I was like, we don't need that because we can watch the old show. Right. But I think they have enough. At least in this first episode, enough in there to show us we see those of you that loved that first show. Yes. We see the greatness of that show. We're going to pick a couple things. It's familiar, but then we're going to put them in a totally different situation, in a totally different world, and just play.
Do you remember the first time we met?
I feel like I've just always known you.
I remember it.
What was your take on this Max and Liz?
I find the relationship kind of similar in that Max is still like the emotional one.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot. Because I was kind of like, oh, he's gonna be a cop. Is he gonna be like kind of hard? Right. But he wasn't. I mean, he was super open.
Well, and of the aliens, he is the healer, and so of course he would be more empathetic. So that totally makes sense.
True.
Which I'm assuming they're gonna explore that more as the seasons go on, because they do touch on that in the original.
Yeah.
Kind of their different things, and which I kind of did with Isabel in this a little bit too, with like the mind
did.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they enhanced hers.
Yes.
For this show.
Yes.
But so I'm excited to explore that.
Yeah.
And see.
And how Max is going to react when he finds out what
erased,
she did.
Which, did we not call that?
Yeah.
We totally called that. And the teasers were like, oh, did someone like erase Liz's memories?
Yep.
Like, what's going on? And apparently
but
they did.
if it was Isabel, though,
right.
I mean, that makes it different than it being some sort of government thing or some, it's not Man in Black. Mm-hmm. This is his sister.
Which is really, so when I kind of first watching it and stuff, I didn't really like the engagement with Isabel, and not necessarily the acting. It was just more of the writing. I just didn't really get the motivation of like why, like right away she was like, you can't ever be with Liz. Like, you can't ever love her. Just love someone else. I was like, this is so irrelevant. Like, I don't understand where this is coming from. But towards the end, and after kind of hearing some of that stuff, there's obviously more to this in the past that we just don't know yet.
Yes.
So that conversation will make so much more sense later on.
Well, and the thing with her sister. They were somehow involved with Rosa. So I don't know if that has to do with it. If they were like, you can't be with her because she's, maybe right now she says, I won't tell your secret. Yes. But if they were involved in her death, like something that obviously is horrific and traumatic for her.
She'll turn on us and
maybe. I mean,
that makes
we
sense.
don't know all of the pieces, but that's what's really interesting, being that we've seen Roswell so many times. One episode in, and I'm already like, what's gonna happen? Like, I kind of thought, at least for a season or so, we'd kind of know what's up. Like, oh, we know who that character is. Oh, we know what they're gonna do. We don't.
Yeah. Sheriff Valenti?
Female Sheriff Valenti!
How kick-ass is that?
That was so exciting. Because it was like, them just coming up, I'm like, who's this chick? I'm like, Valenti. I'm like, what?
That's so awesome, guys. Oh, man. I'm so excited for that.
Anytime you're getting some powerful female characters, always a plus.
Yeah, man. Book. Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited to see what they do with her character.
Yeah. Which also kind of political to make it this female character.
And this whole episode.
The whole seems like it's going to have this undertone of politics, at least in discussing immigrants and ICE,
border
the
control.
Wall. I mean, there was a lot of references in there. Which, I mean, how long ago did they make this episode?
That's a good question.
I mean, obviously, it wasn't 20 days ago.
No.
Like, it's so relevant right now. Because they literally were talking about building the wall, and it's like, we're in a government shutdown because of the wall. Obviously, they made this episode before that even happened. So they're probably like, we are so on now.
Woo! Go us!
Yeah, because they, like, nailed it.
And I love that. I love that Liz is Latina. And,
It makes sense.
It totally
It's
makes
New Mexico.
sense. Yeah. Totally makes sense. And like the whole conversation like with her dad and everything, like all of that just really fits very nicely. And I just love the politics of it. I thought that was great because especially in that area, yes, they deal with that all the time. She was living in Colorado, which obviously is very liberal, and then coming back, she's probably like, oh my gosh, like these cops are pulling me over thinking just because I'm Latina, like I'm, some illegal alien, that kind of a thing, which, alien.
Exactly. Yes. But it all makes sense for the show.
Yeah.
And it makes sense in the political world we're living in. It's very, like, it is a snapshot of what it feels like to be in the United States in 2019, especially in the southern states, I'm sure. So that's really cool. Like, when you can, like, timeless stuff is great. And this could still be timeless, but it's a snapshot of right now.
Yes.
Of the fear, of the hatred. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff in there that it wasn't just about humans and aliens. It was about humanity and just being a good person and so many things that was encapsulated in this, like, dumb show.
You're all right.
I need answers. What are you, Max?
We have not talked about Maria.
Maria.
Our favorite gal.
And now she's a palm reader.
Oh my gosh, were you not freaking out?
I mean, it was like Maria, and you know, it's sad to let Michael go as Maria.
I know.
But
I know.
I'm loving bartender, palm reading. Like, everything about it is right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's so right, and just her, you know, playing the song for Liz at the dance. Like, it was such a good moment.
She totally is like, I don't care about any of you guys. You guys are lame.
Yep.
Like,
She's
that's
I'm
my
gonna
girl.
make my friend happy, make sure she's okay. That's my number one concern.
Yep. And she was reading palms at the reunion. Like, the best.
It was so, so good. But yeah, I was like, I have to bring my little hand.
Yeah, that's of course, like, the bummer is, like, we didn't get a lot of Maria in this episode, but it's kind of like we didn't have time for Maria because it was like, do.
I would even say, as much as we love Maria, for the most part, in terms of plot, she was really always supporting.
Oh, yeah.
She never really drove anything except for, like, her relationship with Michael.
Yeah, she drove Michael's character a lot. So that's what I'm going to be really curious about this series is, and maybe that, like we were saying, maybe that does come into play. Which that could be drama between Alex and Maria and, like, that whole situation. Like, we don't know where they're going to go with it. But yeah, I'll be kind of curious to see how they play that out.
Or they could even just be best friends. Maybe they just become close friends. Like, she gets him and they're just like,
totally.
They sit around and have beers and, like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe Maria will be a lesbian.
Maybe she will.
And then they can just be like, people, man.
Yeah.
Really, the only thing I feel really solid on is Max and Liz are a thing.
Do you think they are?
That's, like, the only thing that I'm, like, I can say for sure is carried over from the original and is, like, solid.
Yes.
Is I'm, like, Max and Liz are good. Like, I mean, they're gonna have drama.
Can we talk about the handprint and the touching of the handprint?
And, like, I mean, okay. Because, look, you could touch me right now. This shirt is very similar.
Yeah, and you could do, like,
yes.
this, or, like, this.
Or even, like, face.
Or face, like they did in the original.
But he, like, straight up was like...
Yeah, I'm like, ripping your shirt
like,
off.
I gotta, I gotta get in the cleavage.
Yeah, and I was like, oh.
Which...
And then she was into it. She was like...
And the shot was all beautiful.
Oh, God. Yeah, like,
the
it was...
sun.
Yeah, but... It was like, jeez.
Well, it went from, it's like, it was romantic, but then it also had, like, a little bit of, like, she didn't get any from Kyle the night before, so she was
like,
just,
really
like,
turned on in this desert. Yeah.
She was ready. She was, her bosom was heaving.
I mean, this whole episode, she was not holding back. She was, like, taking a sip from his milkshake, looking up.
Oh, yes,
like,
she was. She was a thirsty girl.
Who was this rogue shooter that just shot Liz? Was that someone that was just, like, in the town that's, like, upset about her sister Rosa from the situation that happened in the past?
That was, like, 10 years ago, though. Why is anyone shooting?
And why does anybody care? Like, at this reunion, like, everyone's, like, angry at Liz. It's like, that was her sister.
And
like,
it was so long ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like it happened 10 years ago.
Well, and I guess we will find out more about, because all we know is that her sister got into drugs because of mental illness. So I thought that was interesting that we kind of touched on.
I thought that was her mom.
Her mom has a mental illness, but her sister also, at least Liz thinks she also as well. That's why she was taking drugs to quiet the voices and stuff like that.
And now it's time for Roswell's very own Babe Watch.
On this week's episode of Babe Watch, it was a hard choice to make. After meeting so many attractive, hot people in Roswell, New Mexico, picking just one, so very difficult. I have to give honorable mention to Isabel for her little sexy times with her husband. Wow. But I thought this one was going to be easy. I thought for sure Michael, he was shirtless. And just, he's Michael. But I'm afraid this is actually a tie, and we have to give Babe Watch Week 1 to Michael and Alex for hotness, sexiness, passionateness, all the ness, all of it. Feeling it. Babe Watch.
You're telling me you're an alien?
You can't ever be with her.
So they didn't really give us a trailer for the next episode. It was just more kind of like a montage of like what's to come kind of a thing. But what are you expecting in episode 2?
So I'm expecting, my first thought is some sort of regret with Alex and Michael.
Yes.
Some sort of falling out, some sort of like...
Now, did they do it? Did they leave the
I
reunion,
think they did it.
do it, and then they're regretting it? They're at Michael's trailer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I feel. I feel like there has to be that falling out. If they, because the whole thing is that they have this, like, we want to, but we shouldn't. We're fighting who we are.
Yeah.
All that with that song playing that was like, be true to yourself, or whatever the lyrics were. It was something about that. And that's really when it was completely nailed in for me. Mm-hmm. Like when he was like standing there, like looking at a picture of himself, and he's like, be true to yourself. And I was like, oh my God, he's gay! He's really gay! I'm so happy! Yeah, so that's my number one, is there's gonna be some regret or cold shoulder.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a relationship.
Yeah.
Yet. Yeah. And then obviously we're gonna find out something with Rosa.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out a little bit more about Rosa. Do you think Max and Liz are gonna kiss in this next episode, or are they gonna make us wait like they did in the original?
I think they'll make us wait.
I do too, because we're gonna be dying for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're gonna learn more about this handprint. Obviously, we were introduced to General Maines, who's Alex's father.
Yeah.
He obviously is running this whole government thing to hunt aliens or whatever.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, so I think obviously this guy is providing Kyle with this information, which I also think he's doing this too to see how this plays out, because obviously he knows that it's Liz, and so he's letting Kyle feed that to her, and then he's going to try to follow that trail. And we saw in this teaser, apparently there's another handprint. So is it Max that left this handprint on this person? And we don't know what it is. It's just a photo, but we hear it's a handprint. So what is this? Did Max do that? Or is there other life out there? Like, we don't know. Actually, we do know, but we're not going to tell you. So thank you guys for watching us with this week's first official episode. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. I feel like we've been waiting for so long.
Seriously, though. And we did it.
And it feels so right.
Yes, and we will see you next week.
Ooh!
Roswell Recap.
Roswell, it's the Roswell Recap. Ooh!
Hey there, sci-fi fans.
Ooh, hello.
You know what you need to do? You need to click subscribe to our channel. That way you can catch us every Thursday for what?
The Roswell Recap.
Roswell Recap!
We're going to dive into some of our favorite sci-fi television shows and movies.
What?
And some that we've never seen before.
Oh, Lord. You know that you guys can actually tweet us at Cafe Crashdown and let us know some of your favorite TV shows and movies that you recommend for us to break down.
Mm-hmm. And after we watch them, we will either thank you for such a great pick or curse you for a shitty one. So recommend at your own risk. We will be live tweeting on Tuesdays.
Yes.
When we're watching Roswell, New Mexico on the CW.
Yep.
And you can catch us with the hashtag CW Roswell Recap.
I'm sorry, wait, what did you say?
The Roswell Recap!
Roswell Recap!
Roswell Recap! Oh, it's the Roswell
See you
Recap!
Thursday.
Woo!